Hasbro, in conjunction with Disney, have just announced a new set of retro collection figures based on the worst Star Wars show ever made. So stay tuned, and not only will I give you my thoughts on these figures, I will tell you what Hasbro should have been doing. Welcome back. Now, I just woke up to the news that Hasbro are going to be doing a brand new set of retro collection figures. Now, normally, I'm pretty excited for these announcements because I am a huge fan of the retro collection, even though I believe it should strictly be for the old Kenner figures. But when I saw they were doing a release of Acolyte figures, I just could not believe what I was seeing. Now, full disclosure, despite having said I have no interest in watching the Acolyte, morbid curiosity got the better of me. I wanted to see if it was as good as the shills are telling us, or was it as bad as the haters are telling us, or as the shills would call them, the toxic haters. Now, I don't have Disney Plus, but I do have access to a dodgy streaming website, so I was able to watch all 3 episodes for free. Now, without going into any of the identity politics, this show is terrible based on bad writing, bad casting, bad acting, and just a bad overall understanding of basic science. It really is an absolute shit show, and that's being kind, but this is not a critique of the show itself. This is asking the question, why on earth did Hasbro, in conjunction with Disney, think this set of figures would be a good idea? Now, in order to discuss these figures, I will have to read from my phone because despite having watched 3 episodes, I'm not invested enough to know the characters' names. So this set will include Mother M.a.s.k, Jedi Knight Yord Fandar, May the Assassin, Jedi Master Saul, Osha M.a.s.k, and Jedi Padawan Jeki Lon. Now, aside from the fact that it is the worst Star Wars show ever made, none of these characters are worthy of being made in action figure form. And in all honesty, the only people that would actually pay money for these figures are the Hasbro and Disney shills, who chances are get sent them for free anyway. No one else is going to spend money on these figures. And what makes this even more galling is the fact that we are about a week or so after Hasbro just announced their new HasLab overpriced diorama of the vintage Cantina. Now, in my opinion, whilst I understand it is a vintage collection display, therefore most people will use vintage collection figures for it, there are people like me of the older generation who may want to get this set, not me by the way, but there are some who may want to get this set and populate it with classic Kenner style figures. So in my opinion, this was an absolute opportunity for Hasbro to put out yet another retro collection based on the first Star Wars movie. So for me, this set would have had Greedo, Hammerhead, Snaggletooth, and Walrus Man. And for a bit of a change, let's put 2 figures in there that were never made before. So we have the Bartender Wooher, or whatever he's called, and we could have had a Dr. Evazan, which I guarantee you would have flown off the shelves, therefore making Hasbro money, making Disney money. But instead, they've gone with the Acolyte, which, like I said, there will be some suckers out there buy it, but for the most part, real old school fans of Star Wars will have no interest in these figures whatsoever. Furthermore, when you look at the figures themselves, they are not at all impressive. Sure, there's some soft goods, etc. But when they first did the retro collection back in 2019, I was under the impression this was Hasbro's way of getting us old guys back on board and redoing the entire vintage line, but they have really veered off course with this. We have all the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka prequels, etc. And speaking of prequels, whilst the prequels are not exactly top shelf Star Wars, they're a hell of a lot better than this modern Disney crap, and yet they gave us a full box of Phantom Menace figures, but the next two movies get a combined box, which is a bit weird considering there are way more people appreciate those movies than appreciate this Acolyte, but the Acolyte gets the full 6-figure box. Absolutely crazy. And just as a further afterthought, in addition to the box of 6 vintage style aliens that I mentioned, how about if Hasbro really grew a set of balls? Because they have shown they can do this with Yak Face. What about doing a blue snaggletooth on a card? That would fly off the shelves, I guarantee you. Obviously, it would upset the elitists, but it would allow people to be able to get an affordable blue snaggletooth to add to their collection, but I guess that just makes too much sense. So there you go. Retro Collection Acolyte figures. Who wants these? Nobody. But do let me know in the comments what you think of this. Are you going to be buying these figures? From what I can see, $60 plus tax plus shipping. Definitely not good value for money. And as I said, having watched the 3 episodes of the TV show, I am not impressed one bit. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. But as always, thank you for watching. Please drop a quick like. Please make sure you are subscribed, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time looking at all things 80s.